dear students. In the previous class, we have studied about the Dobeirner's law of triads. The next one classification is Newland's law of octaves. In today's class, we are going to study the Newland's law of octaves. Okay, so this will be the second class. Whoever is watching the video, please do subscribe my channel, like and share with your friends. Yes, the Newland's law of octaves. In the year 1866, a scientist named John Newland classified the elements, or we can say arranged elements based on their atomic masses. Okay, he arranged the elements based on their atomic masses. He arranged the elements starting from the elements having lower atomic mass, that is hydrogen, and ended up to thorium. Thorium is having higher atomic mass. He started his classification from the elements having lower atomic mass and ended up to thorium, that is the element with the higher atomic mass. Then in his arrangement he found that every first element had the properties similar to eighth element. Every first element had the properties similar to the eighth element. He compared this to the notes of music, and hence he called his law as law of octaves, that is the Newland's law of octaves. This is how he classified the elements, right? Then let us know about what are the drawbacks of this classification. Coming to the limitations or the drawbacks of the Newland's law of octaves. The first drawback of this Newland's law of octaves is it was applicable. The law was applicable only up to calcium. The law was applicable only up to calcium because he already had said that every first element had the properties similar to that of the eighth element. But after calcium, the elements which were present did not have the properties similar. The first element and the eighth element did not have the similar properties. So this was the first drawback of the Newland's law of octaves. Right. Coming to the second drawback of the Newland's law of octaves is he already assumed that only 56 elements existed in the nature. So no further new elements would be discovered in the future. This was his assumption, which was the drawback of law of octaves. He assumed that only 56 elements existed in the nature, and in future no new elements will be discovered. But later on many elements were discovered which were not able to fit in his classification, in his table. Okay, coming to the third drawback of the Newland's law of octaves is, in order to fit in order to fit the elements in order to fit the elements he placed two elements under the same slot, or we can say under the same note. Sometimes he also placed some unlike elements under the same slot or the same note. So this was the third drawback of the Newland's law of octaves, right? And the fourth drawback is, it was applicable only for lighter elements, The Newland's law of octaves was applicable only for the lighter elements. So these are the drawbacks of Newland's law of octaves, and this is all about the Newland's law of octaves. You can take a screenshot and save it and write it down later on after completing the lesson.